hopefully that will work. Let me go delete this old one. It's pointless now. So for anyone that is on, that wasn't on when I started this one earlier, so I'm just making some mile markers for Kaneohe Bay, Hawaii. Team's gonna try some stuff out, see if it works. So figured I'd stream it. And I know some people have said in the past they want to know how to make this stuff, so figure I'll try to leave this up on Twitch if it's not atrociously bad. Okay, so what I have open here is ADE, as you can see, Airport Design Editor. I also have WisPlacer open, which gives me a little bit more freedom with some stuff. It also makes some stuff more difficult, but WisPlacer doesn't require an airport to be built around the scenery, which is really nice. We'll see if I use that or not. I tend to use that for this stuff, but not always. And then obviously I have FSX open here. It's just on the map for the moment. And then I also have PHNG, which I'm going to connect now, and hopefully it will. Yes, okay. So you can see based off these couple of things, so we have PHNG here and AD here, and then here is FSX. So a lot of people in the past have said, why don't you just use stuff from real life for FSX design? The problem is, if we look at PHNG, this is based off a real world map. You can see that it doesn't exactly mirror what you see in FSX. So FSX's scaling is just not quite where it should be. So it just really doesn't work that way. Actually, let me turn off this music so that it doesn't cut off the audio. Alright, so yeah, so making some scenery here, FSX for mile markers, and do it in Hawaii. So yeah, so real life and FSX, they just don't match up well enough to do some stuff like photoreal scenery gets really challenging to try to make, which is why we don't really do it. So we'll see what we can do here. So what I'm going to do to start with is I'm going to create a user waypoint in PHNG. Just so that I can use this as a reference later on, and I can also grab the latitude and longitude off of here. So this is our latitude, and we will put it in here. It didn't copy the whole thing. Try that again. Alright, and then try this. Now, the values here get kind of weird. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. So latitude, this really should be plus, so we're going to take that out, and then this one is minus, so we'll put that in there. Sometimes this works for me, sometimes it takes me a few tries to get it right. Hopefully today we can get it right the first time, but I'm not holding my breath. So we're just going to grab some data from here. So there's our region PH. And these aren't super important, but it just makes it easier. I don't know what the magnetic variation is here. We're not really going to worry about it though. It shouldn't make a difference for what we're doing. Okay, so now we're going to save this. And we'll go back to this BGL compiler and we're going to save it there. And we'll name it Y. And then we're going to see if it has XML. I probably won't find it. So I'll just save it like this. Alright, so now you can see, because Notepad++ is awesome like this, it changes this stuff for the syntax and whatnot. So hopefully that will work. So we'll go back over here. You can see this is an XML file now, so we're just going to drag and drop. You didn't see it because it's over on my right screen, but it just created the BGL with just a little command prompt window. So we're going to copy this, go to FSX, and let's make a new scenario folder just because. Alright, go back over here, add the area. So that's kind of a little thing if any of you guys have problems adding scenery in FSX. If you go to add-on scenery and then you select the folder you want to add and you press OK, it's going to go into the folder, which it is not supposed to. It's a glitch with Windows Vista and 7 and 8, I believe, as well. So once you're in here, you just right-click with the mouse, and that's going to give me an error because I already have it in here. But you right-click on the mouse and it drops the screen down. So hopefully we don't have any computer or FSX crashes doing this, but I make no promises. So while we're waiting on that, we'll go back over here, and this is going to be locked up because FSX is locked up. Alright, so just disconnected. Hopefully that means, yep. Okay, so press OK. Now we have our show center marker here. Again, I don't have any real specific needs for it right now, but it will be nice to have eventually if I need it. The big thing is getting the latitude and longitude from it so that I can use it for the FSX file. So our next step is going to be trying to add all these markers into the scenery, which have a couple of different options. Like I said, I can use Wisp Placer, which I like because you don't have to have the airport tied into it. Excuse me, but I also can use ADE right here, which is it's nice because you have the airport tied into it, so you can you have a little bit more options with some stuff, particularly like I can move the ramps around if we wanted to, which for now I'm not really going to worry about, but I could do it in the future. So there's actually already some objects around here, it looks like, that they built into the scenery, so I'm probably going to have to delete those actually. Because those will get confusing if we're trying to fly in. But we'll see what it looks like. Of course, my FSX is really slow because I have a bunch of scenery in here. So it's going to be a lot of waiting when I do this stuff. And I can't really do much while I'm waiting on it, so just probably going to ramble on most of the time. I do have, at the moment, I have the stream up on my other screen so I can actually see if anyone has a question or something. I'll hopefully try to answer it for you, but there's not really much I've gone over that I would imagine you have any questions about. If I either don't answer it or if you're watching this as a replay later on and you have a question, you can email me, Dudley, D-U-D-L-E-Y, period, Razor, R-A-Z-O-R, at gmail.com, and I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. Just put in something in the subject that's legible, and then I can kind of figure out what's going to be in the email itself. So mall markers or scenery for FSX Blue Angels, something like that I can at least use to know. Okay, so we've got this in here now. Here's the moment of truth. If I clear this and go to nearest, and it doesn't show up, which means I messed something up, so let's see. HWISC. Alright, so it actually did work, it just didn't show up in the nearest list for some reason. Not really sure why I didn't. Probably because I'm paused, maybe? I don't know, whatever. Okay, so we do actually have the Hawaii Show Center is in the right place. So now we're going to go fly around and just take a look at some stuff here real quick. Alright, so I got GPS set. I'll have to reset it once we're airborne. Alright, so this is kind of the big question here. We're looking here at this value over here, the right side of the HUD. And it's at 2.4 miles right now, 2.7. We're looking for 3 miles as a minimum, so there's 3 miles. Really would be nice if we had 5, but it looks like it's going to be right around 4. Yeah, so it's right at 4 for these mountains. So that's pretty close. Doesn't really give the diamond a lot of room to turn around. I'm actually going to turn on my mouse because I don't think it shows. Yeah, it doesn't. Okay, do that. Capture mouse. There we go. So yeah, so ideally we want 5 miles here from show center out to show left and show right primarily. We're not going to have that here. It's going to be about 4, which is kind of the borderline. It makes it really hard for the diamond to try to turn around. Solos can get around it because we don't really, we don't have to stay super close formation when we're flying, just because it's not the job of the solos for the majority of the time. It's kind of the diamond's thing. That said, it still is an issue for some stuff because we would be operating over here to try to head in for a hit. But we got about 4.5 miles, so we'll see how that goes. So what I'm going to do now is going to try to set up these markers. So we're going to fly and make sure I don't have any wind. Yep. So fly straight down the runway, which is going to be our reference point. Try to make sure I get nice and center here. And we'll go at, want to try to keep this routine at the same value for our height, because if we're at like 200 feet on one run and we're at 400 feet on another, then it's going to change the values. So once we get to a mile here, we're going to pause. There it is. Go back over here, reconnect this, and then we're going to create another user waypoint, and we're just going to use this value so that I can create an object. Now, trying to decide what program to use here. I think I'm going to use WispPlacer. So we'll open that, wrong thing, there we go. Just knew that just in case, and we are going to press the wrong button apparently. And then we're going to edit this so that and that's the wrong value, so we're going to have to use this instead. So this is kind of the thing when you're making scenery. There's a lot of different programs use different they use different settings and different ways of